everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I've been married to a covert narcissist for almost 20 years. I'm separated from him now, and what I do with this channel is I use my real life experiences to get information out there to people about what narcissism really is, what it looks like, what it does to you, and what it does to your family. In today's video, I'm going to talk about narcissists and their flying monkeys. So flying monkeys is a term that stems from the movie The Wizard of Oz, and these are the monkeys that the Wicked Witch would set upon Dorothy and her friends, basically to scare them and torment them. A narcissist uses flying monkeys in a similar fashion. So a flying monkey they're people who enable the narcissist's abusive behavior. They buy into the narcissist's fake persona. They're hangers-on who orbit around the narcissist to support and to defend them. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you don't recognize this right away, but a narcissist is somebody that is playing a game always right from the beginning. They're people that do not have a conscience. They do not have any empathy. So think about what that means, what that enables a narcissist to do. Basically, they don't care about you. They don't care about anybody. They have an agenda. They want you to be a certain way. And the way that they need you to be is they need you, ideally, to be deaf, dumb, and blind. They don't want you to recognize any of their behavior because narcissists know that they're manipulating you. They know they're betraying you. They know that they're lying to you. So their life is all about being one step ahead of that because they need you to be narcissistic supply, preferably grade A, amazing, perfect narcissistic supply. So you're a drug to the narcissist. They have an agenda for you. And what that is you're supposed to bolster the narcissist, lift them up, tell them how amazing they are, be their constant support, always make them feel good. That's your job. They don't want you to have an independent life. They own you. You're like a trophy to them. So they'll keep you on a shelf, and then when they want, they'll take you down, dust you off, and you are supposed to make them feel good. You're supposed to make them look good. They don't want any independent life for you. So this is where the flying monkeys come around. If you discover some reality about the narcissist and you don't shut up about it, if you don't pretend you didn't see it, they will open up the cage, release the flying monkeys, and these flying monkeys will come around and tell you how wrong you are, how wonderful the narcissist is, that the narcissist didn't mean what they did, that you're misunderstanding. Basically, you're stupid and lucky to be with the narcissist, so just shut up and do what the narcissist wants. You don't recognize this, but from the very beginning of your relationship, a narcissist has an insurance policy, and one of their insurance policies are the flying monkeys. These are people that they have spoken about you badly. So what they'll do is they'll tell them either outright lies about you, half-truths. They'll spin tales where you always look bad. The narcissist always looks good. They're better than you. You're lucky to be with them. And they'll keep telling them these things. You don't know this, but they are setting these people up to be against you from the very beginning. And in my case, this is my own parents and my in-laws. Those people, those four people, those are the flying monkeys in my life. I grew up in an abusive family. I was never supported at my house. I left home when I was 18. My parents were not supportive. They were not kind. They were abusive. It wasn't a good house. So I left when I was 18. I still see my parents reluctantly. I do go over there. I do have a minimal relationship with them. However, my parents do not like the way I live my life. This has always been a problem. They have never wanted me to be independent. They have wanted me to do what they want. I wasn't allowed to have my own views on things. I have always insisted on it, and it doesn't go well. My parents do not like the career choice I've made. They do not like the way I raise my kids. They do not like where I live. They don't like that I left home at 18. They are always against everything that I do. So that obviously affects my relationship with them, so I'm not close to them. My husband, on the other hand, use that to his advantage. So we would go over there and he would always be super friendly, super fun, just a great guy, great dad, great father. But my parents always looked at him as a victim of me, that I somehow was telling him how to live. I homeschool my kids. My parents hate that. So they've convinced themselves that my husband actually doesn't want me to homeschool the kids, but that he's helpless to say that to me. I mean, it's ridiculous. They don't like anything that I have done. They don't like the doctors I go to. I mean, nothing. They have been 100% against me my entire life. My husband used that to his advantage. He's just such a great guy and he just puts up with me. It's all a lie. I do not have the ability to tell my husband anything. I've been able to do basically what I want when it comes to homeschooling, doctors, anything my kids do, because he doesn't care. It's not that he's against it. He doesn't care. So for him, whatever. He seems very easygoing, but it's because he doesn't care. My parents don't look at it that way. Now, when it comes to his parents, he also grew up in an abusive home, but he looks at it as his parents just didn't know any better, and he's very, I don't know how to explain this the best way. He just goes along with, he's very passive aggressive. He has his own views on things, but generally they're only related to him. He doesn't really care about anything else. So his parents give him things. They're very wealthy and they give him expensive gifts. So he's happy to go along with whatever they want so that he can get expensive gifts. He has also told his parents, though, that I spend a lot of money, which isn't true. He told his parents that I refuse to work, which isn't true, but he told his parents these things. So they're looking at him as, and I didn't find this out until very recently, but he told his parents these things. So then they're thinking, oh, what a poor guy. He has to work so hard to support Sharon, and, she just does whatever she wants, and she's, just using him. All lies. But this is the tale he spun. It makes him look good. It makes him look like this poor victim. So in the last 2 years, things have really started going down south for my husband. He has had a serious mental collapse. And I found out a whole bunch of betrayals that he has been lying to me. He has been stealing money. He's been racking up debt. He's been alcoholic. He's been in a mental hospital. I've had to call the police to get him out of the house. I mean, there's been so many things that have happened. I basically woke up and I won't give him narcissistic supply anymore. So now he has released the flying monkeys. So when I need people the most, when I am most vulnerable like I am now, he has made it so that I have no family support at all. Thankfully, I have in the last year been able to make a lot of new friends. So I do have support in that way, but this is against what he wants. So an example of the flying monkeys would be, I told my parents in June things that were going on with my husband. They didn't know. They didn't know we were separated. So that tells you how close we were. In fact, his parents do not know we're separated to this day, and we've been separated for a year. So there's really, we do not have a close family. So I told my parents of things about my husband. I told them that he didn't live here, that he lived in his car, that he has been abusive, that he has been financially devastating to my children and I, that he's an alcoholic, that he's been in a mental hospital, that he self-harmed in front of us, that he filed a false police report against me, which caused Child Protective Services to come over to the house. I told them devastating things about their son-in-law. And I have my own children. If my daughter told me some of these things, I would be horrified, and there is no way I would want her to be with him. I would have wanted her to be out of there yesterday. There is no chance I would support a reconciliation at all. My parents, on the other hand, because I have always been a problem, so it must be me, because I've always forced my husband to live this life that he didn't want to live, and he's just trying to keep up with what I want to do. And if I am living in the house and he is living in a car, that just shows that I'm actually the one in charge. I'm forcing the narrative here that I should let him move back into the house. That, I don't know why you're afraid of him. He's a great guy. You should let him live at the house. Fine. If you don't want him sleeping in your bed, Have him live in the basement, but have him live at the house. It's not fair that he doesn't have a relationship with his kids. They neglect to hear that he doesn't want a relationship with them. No, it's my fault. I don't want him to have a relationship with the kids. I am being mean to him. He's trying to be a good person. He wants to move back in. So that shows that he really wants to try. No, that shows that he doesn't want to live in his car. He doesn't want anything to do with us, or he would be working his ass off to be able to have a relationship with us. He does nothing. He wants me to give 100%. The reality is, my husband is an abusive, scary drunk. I don't want him at the house, and he's not doing anything to try to come back. He wants to come back because he wants to just live how he is without changing, and it's okay for him. It's totally acceptable for him to be at the house and scare me and scare our children and to be a real jerk, to ignore me for months on end, to be abusive. That's okay. So my parents look at it as it must be me. I'm being mean to him. I'm in the house, so that means that I'm controlling everything, and I don't know what they think I'm doing. I'm just being this cruel person. The reality is, I've been through hell with this man, and I'm trying to raise my kids and live a life, and I'm being forced to start over in my 40s. They don't look at it. They look at it as it's all me. When it comes to my in-laws, a similar thing. They don't know that we're separated, but my in-laws, both of them, don't have any relationship with their son. The reason for this is because I told him. My mother-in-law told me that she was disappointed in her son. I told him this. That was it. He hasn't spoken to them since June because of that. He's a narcissist. Narcissists cannot take any hit to their self-esteem. For her to be disappointed in him for legitimate reasons is too much for her to handle. Too much for him to handle. He cannot accept that, so he just ignores things he doesn't want to deal with. That's the whole problem with our relationship. He just ignores everything. He doesn't want to handle that he's messed up the relationship. He doesn't want to handle that he's messed up his relationship with his kids, so he just ignores everything. That's how he chooses to live. That's not how I choose to live. So I told my mother-in-law that she actually texted me recently and asked me what she said. Actually, her exact words were, how are things going with, I don't want to say my husband's name. I don't say his name in these videos, and I don't show my face to protect my children. So, I'm just going to call him Joe. It's not his name. How are things with Joe? I'm afraid to ask. So I told her, well, he doesn't really have much to do with us. I just live my life with the kids. Apart from him, he is not doing well. He is collapsing, and he's very cruel to the kids and I. This is what I told her. Her response was, oh, well, I don't want to upset him at all. He doesn't talk to us, but maybe he just can't. So could you please take care of him for me? Tell him we love him. Just love him for us. Just please take care of him. What? I told her that her son was abusive to me and the kids, and her reaction is, oh, well, love him for me. This is the type of craziness that happens when you have a dysfunctional family, when you have flying monkeys around you. My in-laws know. They don't live in the same state as we do. They happened to be here when my husband was in the mental hospital. I told them he had a gun outside of the house, that he was passed out drunk, that I was woken up by the police in the middle of the night, and he was carted off to a mental hospital. They knew that I had to call the police on him. Of course, he told them. So this happened last December. This was actually what initiated the separation. He was in the driveway of my house. He refused to talk to me. He called his parents and told them that I called the police on him for no reason, because I just wanted to call the police I guess, and that the police had him leave for no reason. That's not what happens with the police. The police are not going to take someone away from their house if they've done nothing wrong, if it's their house. But he told them that I called for no reason. For no reason, the police carted him away. His parents paid for a hotel for him. They paid for him to go to a hotel. This is a grown man in his 40s. Mommy and daddy are paying for a hotel for him. Then they never called to see if I was okay, to see if the kids were okay, to see what was wrong. Nothing. They're 100% on his side. If they knew we were separated, they would insist that he live back at the house. So this is why I don't want them to know that we're separated. This is a flying monkey. This is exactly what happens in families where there is dysfunction, and this is how flying monkeys will enact. I've been abused, but the flying monkeys make it my fault. It must be my fault. He's such a great guy. There's no reality there. So if you are being controlled by a narcissist and you have flying monkeys around you, what you have to do is recognize what is really going on. And when you are in a narcissistic relationship, when you are getting out of the narcissistic relationship, the painful reality is that you have to move on in a very difficult situation. So you have to recognize that the flying monkeys don't know what they're talking about and that you basically don't have support. You need to try to get support from friends. And of course, that's difficult too, because you're isolated from people. So you're making friends in the middle of this horrible situation. You're not going to make friends and suddenly start burdening them with your life. But you need to try to have people on your side, have some type of support system, because you're in a difficult situation moving forward. And you have to just take it day by day, but keep the future in mind. Look ahead. See what you can have. Because when you've been abused by a narcissist and when you've had flying monkeys telling you that you're wrong, it makes your situation 100 times worse. These people have no idea what's really going on. If they wake up, that's the other thing. If they wake up and they discover that they've been manipulated, they're still not going to come to your side. They're going to just drop the narcissist and move away from both of you. So the reality is you have to move on your own. That's why I have this channel, so that people can recognize reality and also they can know that they're not alone, because there are lots of people going through this very sadly. I'm going through it. Lots of people in the comments have written. I know other people are going through this. So I'm hoping that we can understand that we're in this, we're together. We can support each other. I have my email in my bio. Please email me if you want to. You really are not alone. I have huge love for everybody, huge empathy for anybody going through this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped. Please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if all goes well, I will see you on Monday. God bless you all.